Mike's Music is a vintage guitar instrument store with 2 convenient locations in the greater Cincinnati area. Known for being that music store by Bogarts, the original shop on 2615 Short Vine Street amazes customers with an exhibit of old and rare guitars that have cycled through famous musicians and wound up on these walls. Mike's is a unique and nationally renowned storefront. They should be handing out tickets and pamphlets to the customers. But instead, Mike's brings a more laid-back experience to buying music equipment. It's a 3-story maze that you're free to explore. It has guitars wall-to-wall and equipment piled up in the corners. Electric guitars of all sorts are on the first floor, acoustic guitars, basses, keys, and drums are on the second floor, and the third floor consists of the rarest and most expensive equipment. I was fortunate enough to be able to speak with Mike. It was a great opportunity. So I'm here with Mike from Mike's Music. How you doing? Thanks for coming for talking with us. I really appreciate it. So I was wondering, where do you guys acquire a lot of your vintage instruments?
Well, we have people deal with us through our website, and they also come in the store, and we're in multiple different databases, and we travel, do guitar shows, trade with collectors we've dealt with for years.
So I know it started off as Mike's Music and Flea.
Originally, yeah.
Yeah. So
you know your history.
I do. I honestly I did a lot of research. So can you tell me just where'd you get the idea? Well, what made you get into vintage music?
I loved guitars, and I played and I sold instruments and for my own personal use.
Gotcha.
And it was mainly just trying to find things for me in the beginning. And me and my wife bought a place down in Ross, Kentucky, and had a storefront underneath where we lived. And I just started with 6 guitars and whatever I could find,
Gotcha.
Garbage picking and at flea markets, and sold couches and guitars. And
it was like machines.
The washing machine, It kind of changed, and of course, about a year or two pretty fast.
Really?
It became a music store.
That's cool. So it didn't take long for it to really...
Not really, because I was pretty obsessed by it.
Was your wife on board with you as well?
Oh yeah, she knew. We couldn't have done it if she was there. I mean, we had our son not long after we opened. We already had one little kid, so she would watch the store, and sometimes I'd have to drive, 2 days to get a guitar. So.
I mean, worth the gas money if it's nice enough, right?
Back then, it was different than it is now. We'd go out on the road and come back with truckloads. So.
Now, or back then?
Now you can travel the country and not find really anything.
Okay, so why do you think that is? What do you think's happening to vintage music?
Well, I mean, a lot of it's in collections now. I'm talking about 26 years ago, so it was different then, and what was collectible then and hard to find is now way hard to find. What wasn't collectible then now is. So it's like an 80s instrument now is kind of hard to find sometimes.
Gotcha.
But then they were everywhere. So anything music related and even live music is going through a wall. But guitars in general are still very popular, and there's a whole new generation of bands and stuff that play vintage gear. As far as collecting instruments go and investment purposes, through the 90s and into 2000, it was just going up constantly, and it has, especially since 2009, the stock market crash and all that stuff, collectibles in general have slowed, and some things have gone down, but for the most part, it's still pretty strong.
A guitar store from scratch, run by an older version of yourself. These guys have experienced and adapted to music's many different interpretations. Who better, where better, to start your journey through music than at Mike's? Vintage is more than age, it's memory. Broken hearts, starry nights, and bedroom jam sessions are all a part of each guitar that resides inside.
I would say actually most of the people that come in here, I mean, there's always people that wander through that don't know about us.
Okay.
But most of the people are customers, I would say. We have a lot of repeat business, and we have a lot of tour bands that came through over the years, Bogarts.
Mike's neighbor, Bogarts, contributes into the communal atmosphere that makes Short Vine such a magnetic spot. Business fluctuates, but with driven individuals at the wheel and a strong base, places like Mike's will stay around.